Total voter registration figures for the update of 2022 voter registration exercise. Kailahun District, 193,578. Kenema District, 317,978. Connaught District, 174,205. Regional total for Eastern Region, 685,761.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of a program we call Korea's Right on. We are on YouTube and on Facebook, so we can discuss different issues them where they come from the different paper them from the of the day. And then when you go to the first paper for this morning, before we bring inside we guess where they come, help you to analyze the different issues them. The first paper on the Africa 24 we say peace triumph over tyranny. Some Sierra Leoneans say Asa microfinance embark on tree planting in Lungi, and I will not contest skewed result. Will APC go to court? SLPP 81, APC 54 parliamentary seat. And the next paper now the Times newspaper we say as APC backs out of governance, Sierra Leone is now a de facto one-party state. Electoral fraud and lack of transparency threatens democracy. JFK wants APC to seek legal redress in Mada Bill's judiciary, and APC reject 2023 elections results, demands publication of details polling stations data. The next paper at the Euros newspaper will say, to whom much is given, much is expected. The people's expectations from President Bio. Congratulations, President Julius Maada Bio. And you get ONS boss, champions peace and security. Marcela Samba raises the bar of women. The Focus 24/7 in his victory speech, President Bio calls for peace to reign. APC withdraws from all governance activities. And you as well get blood people living with HIV in Sierra Leone. 81,000 people living with HIV in Sierra Leone. And security forces attack journalist Ibrahim Al-Hussein Kamara. The Sky Times, APC boycotts governance. You as well get at polling level. EOM and Carter Center calls for publication of disaggregated result data. And without transparency in the tabulation of figures at the Macaulay questions credibility of ECSL's result. Presidential gas OSD named in attempted murder of journalist. And the Marcela Samba say raises the bar of women. Camboy Times, sleepless night for ministers and others. IGP Selo, an embodiment of a legendary police officer. Global Times say re-election victory. 16 tribal heads congratulate President Bio. President Bio leaves for ECOWAS heads of state meeting in Guinea-Bissau today. And Oba congratulates President Bio on his re-election. Turkish president congratulates President Bio. Beyond Borders get this banner. And we say in the 6th Parliament, SLPP 81, APC 54. And attaining 60% of parliamentary seats, Bio's government beckons national unity. Western area tribal heads pledge to support President Bio. Salon Compass, election watchdog escape live threats. Electoral coup, APC declares non-participation in governance. To the opposition, President Bio extend olive branch. Tribal heads, the next paper at the modern series with the tribal heads call on President Bio and VP Julde. Congratulate them on re-election victory. HRCSL says freedom of movement was freely enjoyed on polling day. APC threatens non-participation in governance. Francis Ben Kelfala reappointed ACC Caesar. Salome, Voice of Salome. Now the next paper we say as Samora Kamara breaks silence, as APC plans to boycott all levels of governance, and 16 tribal heads congratulate President Bio for his re-election victory. JFK admonishes APC to challenge the election result in courts. Next paper, the Apex newspaper, we say Bio faces legitimacy crisis, and Metron Mahawa's death spark call for justice. Carter Center raises transparency concerns in Sierra Leone's election. The next paper, now the Calabash newspaper, we say out of 20,000 plus entrepreneurs, Hamza Hashim shortlisted among top 50 finalists for the Africa Business Heroes Prize. And 6th Parliament emerges with SLPP 81 seats, APC 54 seats. APC decides to boycott participation in state governance, and the Calabash listed in BBC Monitoring Guide as a trusted news provider. The New Citizen. As APC withdraws from Parliament and local council, Sierra Leone steadily reverts to one-party state. Samora Kamara, a good leader. President Kabawin will turn in his grave. HIV and AIDS on the rampage. C for the media and the next paper. With ECSL declaring President Bio winner and takes the oath of office, what does the future hold for Sierra Leone? Will APC go to court in Bio's judiciary? What is behind President Bio's hasty reappointment of ACC Francis Ben Kelfala? The Success newspaper. Shooting at main headquarters leaves one dead. APC demands rerun of June 24th polls in 6 months. And dead woods in the past regime that should have no business in the new government. The Awoko newspaper, SLPP Gento concedes defeats, congratulates APC Akisoya. SLPP wins Parliament 81 to 54. Sierra Leone to observe a national prayer and thanksgiving. SLPP wins local government 14 to 8. SLPP to clamp down on people who share messages depicting violence in Sierra Leone. And the last paper for this morning, now the Concord Times newspaper, 2023 elections. SLPP secure majority in parliament. APC wins FCC mayor. APC to boycott participation in all levels of governance. World Health Organization, UNICEF, urge nations to focus more on child health and tribal health. Congratulate President Bio. This is another story then for you inside this edition of the Concord Times newspaper. Well, now the paper in this where we get inside the program this morning. We're not able to look at all of the story the way they inside the paper or waiting on the front page of the newspaper. But of course, we go look at few of the main issues them inside the paper, and then we allow we guests for the come inside and you see how best we can able to analyze the different issues them. So in the meantime, we go now to we guest we will come talk to inside the program. Please unmute your phone, you line, and please I want for as well encourage you for like and share the program as you go about for watch the program from your set, your phone, your television, or whatever thing way you watch me from right now. So please, we ask you for please see how best you can able for like the program. Okay, so now we'll go straight and start for look at the different issues then. Welcome to the show, sir. Please unmute your mic. You mic mute, sir. Very well. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Yes, good morning. Thank you.
Yes. Please, and first of all, get Mr. Titus. Let's just my boy Titus. Let's just see. Let's go through my notes quickly and see how best I can able for give you the best. Well, anyway, that's not possible way done the journey inside the program with your own analysis and make sure say it give the best of your ability. Most of una don't appreciate them. Some of una always get on a young concern way una can get on different guests them way they show up in the program. Well, we as well expect to get another guest inside the program today, but unfortunately, we're not able for them. Thank you. Unfortunately, we're not able for see them yet inside the program and not able for know waiting at the reason to that. But notwithstanding, we'll still go ahead and see how best we can able for look at the different paper them we don't come out today from the different newspaper them we already get. And inside the program today, we want for look at all of the issues that we get for do it, especially the election, because it's very, very key, very crucial. And interestingly, the man we get now, so Mr. Titus, we don't actually they with me inside the program one time where he and Oswald talk about the issue of who that will win this particular election. And interestingly, don't come with me today for we can see how best we can for look at the issue. In him Titus Boy and something, and they don't join me inside the program like you already don't see him. So good morning one more time and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. So let's start with this. The last time when we meet now, and you say Samuel Kamara go win the 2023 presidential election, but unfortunately, we see waiting the ECSL announce as they declare Julius Marabio as the winner. What now you take on that, based on the prediction and what ECSL give?
Well, I predicted really. I've been predicting Samuel Kamara go win, and that prediction they've been based on several issues and factors. The country, they run well. Things not they go good. People in the suffer, not job, not they. We get too much division. We don't creep up at the country. Tribalism don't come up, and not all with people they've been elected kind of thing. And I think the election show that. Number one, massive turnout. Whenever you see a massive turnout in an election, it means that the people away not in a government and they don't rise up for can show government sense say, do what they do no one time. So but people grab for sure say we want for change this situation where they go on. So that was one of the pointers we point to a Samoa win, potential Samoa win. The problem where we don't get now and we seem for don't be so universal, nobody not give this electoral commissioner the credibility and integrity say he run a free, fair and transparent collation system. The organization of the election are one thing. Getting election observers then for coming, most times when they come in for can see if people and get chance for voting up the line and vote. Okay, the election observers then see say, okay, people then vote, although the concern says some voting polling station be open late, materials not being there, this, that. But in the end, generally, people then vote, and a lot of people then vote. The problem where we get now whether the collation of the result, the tabulation of the result, and the announcement of the result reflect the will of the people. Nobody knows him for when they say nobody, we talk about credible international institutions. The European Union now don't call say, when I pull this disaggregated result, let us see this result polling station by polling station. Because every polling station forget all the political parties them, they agents and polling agents and for sign, then for don't come to the polling station, all man sign say yes, this is not 30 for Madabio, 40 for Samuel Kamara, 50 for Madabio, 20 for Samuel Kamara. We don't sign the result, this, then send them to the district before you go to the regional before they announce it now. Well, now we don't find out, say, they don't announce, first of all, they announce 60% of the votes, which was very ambiguous. We don't know if not 60% of the votes where they don't collect, or if not 60% of the vote will take place. So we'll not be know whether Freetown 60% or just pick up vote and Freetown will go by or represent 60% of the overall vote will be not take place. So that was a problem. Now we're saying if that had been a stopgap measure for where you set people a heart, they call people a heart for small, say, look, we work on this thing, we'll count the result. Now that I don't get time for count the result. When I forgive the result, polling station to polling station, just like how they can announce. So this constituency, this polling station, this number, let all man get up. Electoral Commission and your job that the Constitution say. You forgive the result, polling station by polling station, aggregate and all man know who that actually win. Now this we not get. That is the problem.
Okay, so but even when we don't see that, let's just project this paper and let me look at this one quickly. This one when at the success this paper. As you don't analyze the way how you see the problem and waiting at the interest of the international community, then as then they call on the Electoral Commission for actually pull the result by polling station as how people then vote. APC don't demand a run of the June 24th polls election inside 6 months and for don't do that. How possible you see this?
Well, you see, make us say this as an objective observer, because me, the England,
okay,
I find it difficult for deal with demands in these situations, unless you get a power base for back or evidence base for back you demand.
okay.
Me feel say now what we get in we hand. Now the polling station results with the Electoral Commission all in hand, and that would be for us for. Really and truly, running the election says nothing, because what you are saying is that, okay, the result will not get first, no discount them, then it's as if you are accepting that, okay, this man correct or wrong, or no. Let me look at this result that we don't get, and let me know why they announce a different result from this result. Then we go say, because you announce a different result from the result we get, then we run the polls.
In other words,
going back into a rerun, not to throw for rushing to.
In other words, APC for able for present the own result we already get.
Yes, we get a result, and I believe say the results are out there.
Okay.
And that is the sadness. The results are out there, but everybody they wait for the person will get the mandate, the legal mandate for release the result. The results are out there. We know for sure, say the results for Western area, Western rural and Western urban, they went all out to collect all the results. So there was no way they could have changed. Well, they did change those results, but there was no way they could have overturned the trend of the voting in those places, because it goes totally against what the people they ask for. The results are there. And I feel say the results for the rest of
Alright, you watch Colores right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook, and also we discuss issues
the country
that
are there as well.
Yeah.
For example, where you have someone like Kailan, we expect they get 400, 500 votes, 300 votes for the party. Where did this 100 and something more? These are questions we need to ask. The other places where we walked into where they say they get undervoting. How come you undervote by 15,000? These questions need to be asked. There are also variations in the polling where they find out somebody from one party, they vote this for this, vote that for that, vote this for that. We're wrong, totally wrong. You see? So now these are some of the issues they would try to deal with.
All right. So now look at this thing. For example, in Freetown, you know, and interestingly, the PR system, the proportional representation, you know, people when they see, okay, this could be a better option for let we get, you know, different other political party them, including the smaller political party them, for let them get seats in the parliament. But in the case of this, it looks worse than how it's supposed to be, because no small political party, no they did. Because the last parliament you get C4C, you get NGC, but in this case, not just SLPP and the APC. And waiting actually surprised a lot of people that the results will come up from the Western rural, whereas APC 5, SLPP 5.
Well, again, all of these things come back to, you see, when you start from a wrong premise or false premise, there's no way you get the right answer to the sum. Once you don't get the initial phase of the sum wrong, you cannot arrive at the correct answer. The results are cooked up, long and short of it. They cook up the figures. The Electoral Commissioner go all out for ensure that the SLPP gets a wide control over the incoming governance systems. For example, now they get nearly 2/3 majority in the parliament. Anything where SLPP want to do, that any bill they want pass, nobody will stop them. Any bill will require 2/3 majority, especially pertinent bills will require, for example, bills that will relate to entrenched clauses in the Constitution. If they need for change them, they want 2/3 majority. It's a done deal. Now, then you go into the representation of the people. You not get the votes in certain areas, but you go impose your will on the people of those areas. It is a recipe for unrest and a requisite for crisis. So we have a real problem behind these figures. If we not get the people away for represent we in the places that we ask them for represent we are going to have a difficulty for governance to be seen, to be transparent and reflective of the wishes of the people within the government. And that's the recipe for unrest. So waiting on my own side, what I would urge is that the Electoral Commission for really and truly go back and review the treatment of these figures. And if they find out, say, they don't reach a situation where they cannot justify the existence of these numbers, then we call for a rerun of the election. And then we get an international body or an independent body who would supervise and manage that rerun. Because from what it is looking as if this present government cannot deliver a free and fair vote for the people.
Okay, so let me look at this other paper quickly. You know, we now the Salon Compass. Salon Compass get this banner headline where they say electoral coup. APC declares non-participation in governance. You know, first of all, you go refer to this as electoral coup.
Exactly, that's what it is. It's called state capture. That's a technical term for it. It is called state capture. When one particular opinion group, a particular party, as you could say, take over the institutions of state and redirect their activities to their own benefits instead of the benefit of the people. That is state capture. It no matter whether you know a democratically constituted government, the minute you don't engage in state capture, you don't reduce yourself from a democratically elected government now to a pariah state, to a rogue state, and to a state that is involved in the how I will call them. You don't thief the people they vote. Basically, you really don't, and they really don't do wrong. And I feel say calling for the fact that this should be reversed, I think is the right thing to do, because it is going to build animosity. And when you build animosity within the state structure, what you are building the seedbeds of conflict. And we don't need conflict. And the conflict we will get for ensue in Sierra Leone, let us not deny this. The conflict we have for ensue in Sierra Leone is going to be a tribal conflict. And we don't want that. We are too much of an integrated nation.
So,
we don't marry.
Why you feel say tribal conflict can for be another possible thing?
It's only inevitable because the politics has become tribal. The politics has been reduced to. I mean, look at what happened. There was certain places in the southeast where the majority of people living in Mendes, they don't allow the Timnis or other parties them for structure themselves, for prepare themselves for the election. For example, in Kono, they shut down the C4C when the Kono party, when the Kono people are young party, they shut them down from even having a party and contesting the election.
But you don't think saying that them agreed to that day because some of them feel aggrieved with the APC and some of them just feel.
But this has nothing to do with the APC. The shutting down of the C4C has nothing to do with the APC. The government in power, the PPRC refused to register them as a political party. Go to APC, they register.
Yeah.
The people went to be registered. They went there.
And they're going to court as well.
Yeah, but they register. Some party they own a one man with one briefcase he gets. They register some parties that don't even have offices. Then they refuse to register C4C. We all know that C4C was a Kono party. It's a Kono district party. It's not a national party. It has never been a national party. Okay, they put up a national candidate for president the last time. Well, that was speculative. C4C can never be a national. It's not the Kono people in party. And they know that they shut them down. And when you see them shut them down, so that means that the Kono people are now being for left between the infighting now, between the section where they fight with APC and the section where they fight with SLPP. And then on that basis, you get all the internal fractions again. Because so you find out, say, the animosities have been driven down to the tribal level. And that is what is bad. When you drive down animosities to the tribal level, then you get some family go there way sometimes. You get some family where traditionally, some man then a family where mama na mende, papa na timini. Some picking and feel say they're more inclined to the timini family than the mende family. Or then grow up differently. So you get that kind of situation. And now if conflict begins, can you imagine brother and sister they are on opposite sides of the battleground? Please let me walk away from that situation. Let me get this government to understand, say these are the things that we've seen in living pictures, in motion picture, like for example in Rwanda. In England, I had somebody who was working with me in London here, and this lady was narrating her story to me. She said her husband was Hutu and she was Tutsi. They divide the children them. The husband in people and can't take his own picking and go kill them. And that was what was at the level. The woman get for run away to picking the Uswango, then go end up in Germany, they end up in England. All man run away. The wrong that this thing will do to Sierra Leone is unimaginable. We need for really and truly sit back and get national. I think number one, we need to start looking at a government of national unity. Let we integrate people into this government.
So since you reach to that point, look at what in this paper they say, no? And it just relates to what you don't begin for talk, so we will give you more time for talk. Then say attaining 60% of parliamentary seats, beyond government beckons national unity. Because they get 60%, of the seats, like everywhere, they get at the north, they go at the west, they get at the south, they get at the east. So of course that's a sign of unity.
Oh no, that is a sign of disunity for that matter. You see, because they get seats at the north and the west, where they're not entitled to, they get seats based on a disjointed campaign and a campaign of rabid and tribalism. The people that don't get seats in the south, APC don't get seats in the south, even though they get votes in Kenema, they don't get one seat, they get 20,000 at Kenema, they don't get one seat. SLPP get 27,000 at Port Local, they get 4 seats. There has to be a rationality. Whatever now you mathematical calculation, you get for look in a situation like this, and what they call calculations of statistical significance. Unless what you are doing has levels or have elements of statistical significance, you will not get what you call representation, a broad-based representation. If you had looked at things like statistical significance, for example, C4C, Mr. C4C, KKY party, NGC, we forget seats because they had votes in Gambia. But NGC not get on seat. Now, none of the other parties are not getting any seat. C4C, we're being qualified, or they mean likely for pull all the seats in Kono. They're not getting none. So they just left the whole thing in Kono now to say, SLPP grab, APC grab, waiting all man get all man taking on. This was difficult, and it is not because, and then don't forget, we are talking about political parties which runs on the basis of a winner takes all. If there is an SLPP member of parliament at the north, it's only SLPP member of parliament. Believe you me, he cannot operate as a governance structure in the north for everybody. So all man now waiting and they talk now, SLPP you get at the north, you don't get SLPP as a northern party. It is not. You get SLPP parliamentarian at the north, yes, because you claim it. You come with a system, we give you the rights there. But you don't get SLPP at the north because SLPP want the country or the people at the north want SLPP for them at the north. We are used to a winner takes all situation. So wouldn't the possible win nine for take. But this is where it is. We need, when you say national unity therefore be a broad-based and integrative combination of people from different sides. You know, go say national unity because one man born pikin a born pikin na boy, go born pikin a Kenema, born pikin a Bombali. Then you say that man na true Sierra Leone. No, the man na true Sierra Leone. The man where a born pikin a Freetown boy take him border and pikin na Kenema. He take his other person pikin a Bo. He take his stranger pikin a Makeni. He take other person pikin a Segwema. He bring them all together. He mend them. This that the man where na the true patriot. What do the man will go born here? There you can say no. That's self-interest.
Okay. So let's look at this paper again. Because of all of them things there, so the APC gets a lot of concerns. Them amongst them that they want to let them boycott the all governance system. You know, then they boycott the local council in as much as they get 16, and they boycott the parliaments. You know, on all. What do you make up of this action from the APC?
There are two ways of looking at these things. That is an idea. You see, boycotts have never worked. In the United Kingdom, during the struggles, we have a political party here called Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin been in Northern Ireland. Then they stand for British parliamentary election. But when they win, they say they don't recognize the Queen as head of state. So then they go to Parliament, now Westminster. Sinn Féin not go there. Well, then because when you go to Parliament, now Westminster, you get for swear allegiance to the Queen. So they say because they're not going to swear allegiance to the Queen, they ever go to Parliament. So Sinn Féin, nobody never worry with them. They ever go and go win, and go start the election and go win like this. And we get this area, we win them, but then they go to Parliament. Now it stops them from being represented, but at the same time, it was a burden on the British system for say, well, how them are going to win the kind of Parliament. So now that they don't get devolved situation where Ireland get their own parliament now Sinn Féin they win at the area, then they go to their own parliament and do what they want to do. They don't necessarily need for swear allegiance to the Queen, the Irish parliament. So that is being solved. The same thing for Salone. When you boycott, you have to know whether the other person will reflect on the importance of your boycott, whether you boycott get any important act or part for play, whether it's significant. Now, then structure where we get in a Salone, nobody will look in company. There are two ways you look at it. Number one, the one side go think say, if we boycott, all man they lost in salary. Nobody they get paid. Nobody no get nothing. Allowance no go there. The money where they come from government to members of parliament and whatever will not go touch them. And Salone an economic country. So apart from the fact that we are talking politics, you have to talk economics as well. So it will be difficult on the constituencies and those communities. But then the minute they boycott, somebody will come up and say, well, rather than we run another election at IAD, we go appoint other people away lost for going to that place. So it means, hey, when a proportional representation now, if APC boycott, they just put social SLPP, they don't even count with NGC. Social SLPP, again, will come into question within the relevance of the NGC vote in the areas the way they stand. So these are all tricky questions. So what I would say is look at it from different angles. Boycott if you want for boycott. If you feel at the party in your own position, that I am not here to say what party should do. But from my own standpoint, if you ask me, let us do other things. We can go into parliament, not participate.
So as far as them concerned, as far as the APC concerned, when they back out of governance, it means Sierra Leone now they become a de facto one-party state.
Automatically.
That will get negative effect on them.
That's the point, because Sierra Leone will tell you that this is non-international institution not go deal with the local situation in the country. They will say that domestic arrangements, local situation. They ask them to participate. They have refused. You see, then that's going to be a difficulty. When then they begin happen again, this creates the recipe for crisis. You don't want the country to go back into conflict. So these are the things we need to avoid. Let politicians not take you into conflict. So let we avoid that. And I think for a lot of people that would be an argument or an arrangement that would have to come to. Then you have to look at the economic situation. When you boycott, who benefits? Then you get to look at the political situation. As far as it is, we are better off fighting the situation by the available legal means, which means going to court. We have timelines. Then go to court. There's been countries where the president don't Sidom, they don't what's it called? They don't swear I'm in. But then the court decides, say, look, this was not wrong. It was irregular. And there is likely going to be one judge Nasalo go grab and say, look, you know what? Whatever this go do, una kill me, I will talk the truth to my conscience. And obviously,
and what thing that will mean for like one out of the rest stand up and say this is not wrong, it's not correct at all.
Oh, that's the beauty of the court system. When judge grab and talk something at court, nobody can change her. Pass you go appeal.
But wait, if you get like 3 or you get 5,
judgment.
If you get 5 where they sit them on the case, 4 agree on one word and then one.
Oh no, that's different. That's a call that where you get 5 judges, that means you get a panel. If you get a panel of judges, there's likely that a panel of judges would agree together. Maybe 3 out of 2. When you get 5 in a panel of judges, you only need a majority. If now one judge sits on the case, then the judge gives judgment. That is, as long as the judgment falls within the ambit of the law. What we are asking for is the law to take its place. For some reason, I might be a romantic, but I feel say there is a likelihood that there will be a time where somebody in a salon will stand up for the right thing, for the law, and say this is wrong. I'm sure it will happen. It has happened in Malawi. It has happened in Kenya. It has happened in another country. It will happen in Sierra Leone. But if we cannot know if we don't try, you cannot boycott the governance system that you boycott going to court. That for me, I think is a very difficult situation. For my own point, I'm not saying anything that somebody should do this or other people, but I think people should consider. You see, and then again, when you have some of these advices coming forward, or some of these, they come forward with what we call intrinsic agendas. So mango the way na reason again we make it say una boycott. Because you know what's in the circumstances, what will be the reaction. So man don't plan this one whole thing. Would they set the election? So you push them, tell them boycott. When they boycott, we go in, we run them out, we run this thing, we run this. Then at the end of the day, council of churches go talk, paramount chiefs then go talk, all man go talk, and Salo man go listen. My brother, we get for talk.
So that brings me again to the issue of this particular issue, you know, where the Apex newspaper, you know, you just link the issues them together as if the paper the day in front of you. The Apex newspaper, it shows that you really know waiting the talk, and it just aligned to waiting exactly the flow for the day. The Apex newspaper say Bio faces legitimacy crisis. Is that true?
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe I address this point when you say I talk like for say, but I'm an expert in these matters. This is my work. This is what I went to school to learn. I go college for learn what I do. I graduated masters in peace and conflict. The same university where David Francis been there in Bradford. I was there. You know, so Madabio was there as a student alongside me as well. Although me I know on the back at the campus. So when people are saying some of these things, some of which they talk from the basis of what we don't learn, the experience, learned experiences, and also the taught lessons, which they don't teach, we don't have other places then. So they talk from a background of what we call grounded theory. They want to put it into practice because we're not practicing politician, we don't be in the situation, we don't make decisions, political decisions at the strategic level, at the highest level of state. So you cannot argue with me when I'm saying some of these things as if I'm not no. So thank you for validating that point. That I know what you had to talk because you know I'm sorry if I surprise you on that, but this is something that I have the background. I have the background.
No, the reality, I think when we see at the interview anybody as well, they assess the person intelligence, the level of intelligence, and they as well they look at how you connect the T, how you cross the T's, dot the I's, you know, and how you as well, from my own point as the person where they present the show, I get my own feeling as well, and I get to how they listen to people. And from the point of the people as well, where they watch you as well, that they always then that way they use for assess people. If you other persons they are just not the talk, by the time you watch the comments, they all they come, no, you lie. But everything where people they say they're on point, you're very correct, very true, you know, in as much as you get your own party where you get feeling for, but you just to make sure say you analyze the story or the issue as it is.
No, we have to look at the issue as it is because I mean my own party I one thing. When I deal with party issue, I'll do it in party issue, not in this forum. In this forum, I'm a Sierra Leonean as well. I'm looking at it from that Sierra Leonean point of view. There is there's nothing that says that one party for rules alone all the time. But what in the constitution says you have to be fair. You have to do things right. So that is what I stand on. I stand on the constitutionality of what is happening in Sierra Leone. Is it fair? Is it done right? Is it done with the interests of the people in mind? So this is what I'm saying. Okay. Now, I think you asked me about
the legitimacy crisis.
The legitimacy crisis. Well, yes, exactly, and this is what I said before. When you, as a legitimate government, you undertake for manage an election process, then the election come out in a cloud of dust. That is where the legitimacy crisis comes in, because then people start to query and question how you're in power. Are you cemented into power, or are you held together into power by just poto? You know what they call mud brick. Then also in the build up line with poto, and they also in the building a filter with cement. Not to the same structure. Not to the same structure at all. So something can we can sand can, so what's the crack?
Yes.
You see, so are we going to have that crack? Would you expect that crack to come out? And this is what you don't want in a country. You don't want the bedrocks of conflict being integrated into the foundations of your democracy. Right now, we don't introduce that bedrock of conflict. Why should we have this crowd? Let them bring out the disaggregated results. Let us see who won, by which margin. If SIPP won the elections, so be it. If the elections were won in such a way that APC forget seats in Bo and Kenema, so be it. Let us have our representation. Let the voices of our people be heard wherever they are in the country. For me, I think that would be fair.
Okay, I think there is serious legitimacy crisis with this particular government. Look at what's happening right now. From this paper, when at the Tribune Times, the Tribune Times, Modern Seas say, tribal heads call on President Bill VP Julie, congratulate them on re-election. So in other words, we see now the president, they actually call people, religious leader, tribal heads, for letting can congratulate them.
Well, you see, really, these are what you normally call moral guarantors. These people have no business taking sides in election results. We constitution quiet on the issue of parliament and chieftaincies in parliament. And there is a lacuna in the constitutional law which say there was some ambiguity over the role of parliamentarians when have been chiefs, where been caused that crisis, where been get where Albert Magai lost the elections to Shaka Stevens, where it had to come down to whether the chief then vote count, or whether the chief then they vote for the sitting government, or the government will win the election, or when does the government will win the election come in? Is it before the chief then vote or after the chief then vote? That ambiguity came in. A whole lot of constitutional discussion went around that. For an election that has not been settled, where all man they complain, people and they say, okay, we'll get result, the result to the electoral commissioner pool, the result not complete. Up till now, the result not complete as far as we know. The result not complete up to now, 60% result for paramount chiefs or for local chiefs. For go congratulate the president, that means they don't take side.
No, because if you look at this other thing again, two sides to the coin. If they invite them, they're not just grab go congratulate them. They invite them.
Those should not be invited. That's the point. Even if they invite them, we
keep them. President now invite them, and now it invite different people. You don't invite them
in the position. Let me say this.
Yes,
we chief them then. You see the funny thing, away with man who confuse we, but we chief them there above the presidency. The only reason we make we chief them they go and fall and say below the presidency now because we chief them subject to the economic parameters of how the state and the country they operate. But what chiefs are above the presidency and a tenure. You get the chief na reign. He didn't say he die. You understand me? And these are our ancestral traditional leaders that they hold the stool for we.
But
there is no way when they under the subject of
nothing of the past right now for say the paramount chief, for example, go there forever. The president could just grab our money and say, do the right thing, and then they dethrone you, pull your stuff like that.
Because the president do it wrong. If we get for go according to the constitution, say, why you don't crown chief, that chief, you not for pull him. Unless they do, and most times when they pull chief, now political parties they pull chief.
There you go.
You see? And that don't make a right. That don't make a right. And there are certain things in our Sierra Leone constitution we really need for revisit, and we do. We need for really get clarity. In England, for example, the monarchy is above politics. There is no way, like when Britain said they want to go out of the European Union, the Queen had nothing to say, even though the Queen did not want to go out. Everybody knows. The Queen wanted to remain in the European Union. But the Queen not ever mention her to any, not ever say anything. The only way people they know is because Oman say the Queen get fumbled them with the Europe, and the Queen no say the unity of Europe, now the unity for peace in the world. Because the European Union as a bloc, Europe, the effect within Europe, look what's happening in Ukraine now. The effect within Europe, when Fed for Europe, it affect the one whole world. Because the whole partner of the world linked to Europe, even America linked into Europe. So unless you get Europe in unity, you're not going to get unity and peace in the rest of the world. So we need to understand that if our chiefs do not have the authority for rule the local chiefdoms and then to the districts, to the regionals, then the national peace would not sustain. So when presidents come in or political parties come in and try for subdue chiefs, that is something that we should not encourage. But oh yeah, me a Creole boy, me not get chief. So we don't know about that kind of thing. You see, so sometimes maybe we would talk out of turn, or maybe we'll go beyond what we have to say, because we are looking at these things from the more pragmatic and democratic and the more, from that Western orientation of fairness and transparency.
You see, what we see happen so right now, like what will happen after the August 10 incidents, where we get that kind of serious protest in the country, where it's same way to call on all of them people for just for can support and say, yes, he's on the right track, and for the action we take, he actually get right to take the action. And then we see all of what we see now praising him from the paramount chief, from the tribal heads, from the civil society and other people, and not just praising him. So now they repeat the same thing because he wants to let the legitimize election or appointment. So now in the beginning, in the August 10 situation, we see the first set of people the way he call. Now the international or the foreign partners them. Now the first he call, play a lot of video for them and try for convince them on why that action they take that action day on August 10 for do waiting and do so. But in this one now, the international community, they don't call them because them now one of the sets of people them where they talk say we not satisfied with this election, lack credibility, a lack transparency, and we want for them to post the polling center result them at polling station level. So now you don't call them one there because say then get their own feeling right already about them. So what in this Google for me, because we see the step where the international community take, what in this Google for me for an election. This make I go to the next paper where now the feature C4D newspaper. The C4D newspaper, I just go to and quickly and get exactly what's in the exact word where he actually say. He say that project as I read other people and say so they're not going to feel saying I may just make up something out of myself. So the C4D media say, he said with ECSL declaring President Bio winner and takes the oath of office, what does the future hold for Sierra Leone?
Well, now it's a legitimate question. If you declare the winner based on just a proportion of the votes, we have what you call a crisis of confidence, which is what we are having now. The development partners put in a lot of money into the economy. They support a lot of the structures within institutions within the country. Now, for our institutions to come, we don't forget we're a country that has come out of a very brutal civil war. At that time, the civil war was not tribal, you see. So now, if we're going to go into a civil war that is tribal, it's going to be much worse, much more brutal. And the reason we made them create Sierra Leone War is because Sierra Leone War came with amputees, you see, and dismemberment. And these were very brutish, cannibalistic activities which shocked the entire world. And then at the back of it, there was diamonds, which created created that tarnish on an item or a gem where the Western world being rely on for a lot of things. So the concept of blood diamonds coming and the name of Sierra Leone went way down, and we are known for nothing more than brutality, bloodletting, and brutish killings. Please let me not go back down that road. You see, because when you fan the flames of conflict in such kind of situation, then you are hacking back to a situation where everybody wants for outdoing company. You want to say, if I've been killing you the last time, this time they kill you double. We don't want that. We need, like I said, we need flexion. Paramount chiefs, council of churches, moral guarantors should start thinking around getting this president for review or revisit the possibility of a national unity government. Forget about the polls. Forget about the fact that you won this election. Let's get a government of national unity. Let us build back our sovereignty. You're not going to take anybody because we don't go to
you don't actually extend olive branch to the opposition. Don't call on.
That's not an olive branch. An olive branch of saying, "Oh, I call on my opponents to come and work with me." No, you are calling them to come and work with you to validate your treachery. You're not calling them to come and work with you because you are opening the doors to the state coffers to them. That's not what you are doing. At the end of the day, governance in Sierra Leone is all about money. It's about who gets per diem, who gets to travel on government flights, and who gets to sit on government prados and pajeros. It is nothing about doing something for the people. So they're left for full week. When governments and politicians begin take responsibility for doing things in a way they increase jobs in the country, create a better healthy situation, enhance the educational system, then I go understand that yes, this is a government that is responsible and responsive to the needs of Sierra Leoneans. So they're not full way. Opening up the extending olive branch is all just a matter of talk. Let we see a government of national unity. Let it come out of them. Then we get a situation where the whole structure of government changes. It is no longer an SIPP government. Let we bring everybody on board. Every political hue and color where get influence over the people, then find way for bringing them aboard. And then we sit together and go back to the drawing board, work on a better country, a better sovereignty. For example, they come with Gentle in Freetown. Why not create a normal for being on a Freetown, now an attempt for countryman. That was a very bad campaign. It was, and even the people in Freetown rejected it for one reason. Because the people in the country, people are waiting at Freetown and will always tell you that mayor, that Creole, but that in the illiterate sense, in whatever way they are, and not to all man illiterate. But people, and they get the presumption, say, oh, people in Africa don't know what's in their part. The people in Africa, they're more sophisticated than what you can ever think of. Even the people in the upline self-sophisticated. They know what they want. The only thing is politicians tend to confuse other people, thinking that, oh, I get control over them people there, I go tell them what to do. That is not the case. The people in Freetown rejected Gentle's campaign. And Gentle lost more than what Mother Biobin win at Freetown in 2018. Let me tell you this. From the figures that we have had access to, Gentle lost at a rate that is much more. And I feel Semada Biosef lost much more in Freetown because of that kind of campaign.
So it was aggressive and we see different figures now where they pop up from the ECSL as if Gentle, from what we see from ECSL, Gentle no lost better to Akisoya. Madabio no lost better to someone.
What ECSL pull out is wrong. Gentle lost by about under 30%. 85% of the votes, look at Akisoya figures, 85% of the polling stations where Akisoya get the IRF forms them for, when they compute them, Gentle was like 31%. Out of 85% of the IRF forms polling stations. Now, these are facts, and these are facts that are based on facts. The IRF forms are signed by all the polling party agents. Where then cheat this election from translating these numbers from the IRF forms to the district level, now they don't get problem. When they see form write 106, they write 160 for the other party. This is where we have problem.
So like what happened at Koinadugu?
Like what happened at Koinadugu? What else Sambaya Bendugu then call the place?
No, Koinadugu, Sambaya Bendugu na Tonkoli, that are the second one where they not be able to.
Now the second one, yes.
Yes. So on Koinadugu, now outside them we get there 2 by election, outside they actually change figures them.
Well, then change figures.
Yeah.
So you see, when you allow these sort of things to become the norm, they don't do a 1 term and get away with and do a 2 term, then take and go to a national election, then do across the board. You see, this is the bedrock, the foundations of injustice. We cannot allow it to happen. So when we are saying, and that from where I'm standing, a government of national unity will bring all of our people, not to say because they want to give them jobs. In fact, they don't make nobody minister said. Let not give nobody public vehicle, but let them get these people together. Let them sit down. Like now 6 months to take them. For sit down, we go through root and branch. From the constitution, can write down to everything we do. Let we sit down, we overrun all of these things, get everybody for bringing they will get a better country.
So look at this paper again. When I still inside the C for the media, you get this thing where you say, right down here, you say, what is behind President Bio's hasty reappointment of ACC Francis Ben Kefala? So with all of this they happen, we see it just don't go pop, first appointment.
Ben Kefala are the most powerful. Kefala are the most powerful agent of the previous government for prosecute the opponents. The only way you can get the opponents then for can to heal now if you get for raise case against them. But I wonder how they're going to do it, because this government cannot come back and say we've now inherited a very bad government from the APC, so we have to clean this. We have to do no. Everything that is wrong now was created by this government. The appointment of Ben Kefala, at least a validation. It is likely that his appointment has lapsed from the previous time, so government get for reappointer. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's just that putting him back in position and for make the opposition no say Ben Kefala has not gone anywhere. So all they want the way get case file over, they get for calling one by one and say, look, that's how I not been quiz you last time. I can quiz you now. Maybe that is what I see from it, but I don't think that, and I don't see why the state for use its resources for go after the people and for quash the dissent against activities of the state. If we find that these activities are not in congruence with the constitutional rights and freedoms, we don't get, and for a country that has gone through a war, that hard-won peace should be maintained at all costs. Maintaining peace at all costs means you stop the activities that will bring you back into that situation, or let crisis come back, and let conflict come back. We need to walk away from that.
Right. So please, let me ask you this question again. I still want to touch on the issue of congratulatory messages here. We find out, say, in any election, all the elections that will happen inside the country, within 24 hours, all the foreign diplomatic missions then can don't congratulate the winner of that particular election there. But in this case, none will not see. Okay, so now this government and the agents them or the mouthpiece them get issue with that, and they always want for project one kind of image as if a lot of people don't congratulate them. All right, now they don't invite from this paper here. Let me see quickly the Global Times newspaper. The Global Times newspaper say election victory. 16 heads of state congratulate President Bio. That's now one. Then the second one now, Turkish and president congratulate President Bio. So now Oba congratulates President Bio. And then we see again this kind of fake, ECOWAS, release will come out, say ECOWAS congratulates Bio. But now we don't see nobody, the ECOWAS not congratulate them, AU, no other serious organization not congratulate President Bio except if we not see him. And all the Western world not ever call or we see any side and say them congratulate them. Yeah, the only one will see Turkish. Of course, we know say Turkey gets issue with this issue of the airport that they own now, and we are the Guinea-Bissau, president as well. Where now President Bio, friend again, we congratulate them. But what's in this thing about congratulatory message? Now President Bio they left now for go ECOWAS head of state meeting inside Guinea-Bissau today.
Well, you see, when you get people away, power get for attract power, and power get for getting embellishments. You have to be seen to be powerful. If they don't see you as powerful, then nobody will respect you. You and a president, they never call you president. If you go to president, you call him Pabio or Mr. Bio or Godmother, you will say, well, look, me a president now. Call me Echi. Call me Mr. President. This is my title. Yes, it is good for foreign powers, international organizations, congratulate the president, because these are our development partners, these are the people that we work with, and they have to see legitimacy. Legitimacy is a word that looks at the claim that you have to power. Why I tell you this not say chief then they are above presidencies, because the chiefs have a higher legitimacy. Their legitimacy comes directly from the people when they reign, and then people then put them there. So then chief and the legitimacy is derived from that. The presidency now don't get a legitimacy which is supposed to be derived from the electorate, but now there is a crowd. If you say 50 people vote for you, when 30 people vote for you, the other 20 not vote for you, then my problem. That means they act in the name when they don't tell you to act in the name. Maybe they want for act in the name, they want somebody else for act in the name. And because you don't take them vote, you don't deny them from getting the right person for acting in the name. So this is going to be, it's a crisis of confidence in our democracy. It is a difficult situation. Again, the only way you can remedy this type of situation, we need for go back to the drawing board. We need for get the country together. We Salone people and get for understand, say the only way we solve Salone problem by Sierra Leoneans talking together, talking to each other without hatred. No look me say because you na countryman, me na Creole man, you know for sit down with me, let we talk. But we all there now. Inside this country, na Salone we get, now we all you na land that we love. We all for able to sit down and talk there. We get some people that still they look Creole, they tell and say they're a stranger. We get some people that even they look Mendeman, saying a stranger na put local. But some of these things should stop. We don't pass all end stage and day. We are now Sierra Leoneans. Let we begin dealing with yourself like Sierra Leoneans. Let we sit down, forget tribes, forget region. Let look at waiting fair, waiting right, and waiting will be good for the one that were less fortunate, less educated, and less endowed than we. Because some of we don't get chance for go abroad, we don't see the world, we don't get education, we don't get knowledge, we don't open our eyes to civilization. Let we pass on those experiences to other people who have never. Imagine, Bobo will grow up na village, you know, ever go na tongue safe. So tell them, the only time they see Mutukana, where I see the Mutukari car, you want to go inside bush for gear and road. You know, one day you don't inside that Mutukari. How you feel so about your own sensitivity go turn to picking way born na free tongue, where you know what's in a Mutukari, pass up and down the balance car, so Mutukari bang all safe. Then perception would be different. So let us get our people to understand that there is a greater good in serving the people, the ordinary people. We people are not for them a slum. We people are not for them a village where they don't get kitchen set for cook, and they put them pot front the main road for cook. We people they forget social services, they forget healthcare, they forget amenities within the communities. You see, they forget what's in a modern lifestyle where anybody they want to go bow, kenema, forget. You want the wooden then look, whether then village, then say forget them. We want that for happen in our country. For me, that is the vision I have. That everywhere you go in Sierra Leone, community center there, good school there, tertiary center there, then they train people, young boys there in technical skills, then the country becomes productive.
Okay, I get two last questions for you. One, therefore, do it now. JJ Safabi asked for 3 months. The countdown don't begin already. You think, say, in 3 months, they're going for turn on the economy?
No, but not for you know, they will handle election economy. And they will handle proper calculation per election economy and go handle the calculation per economy much bigger. We are talking macroeconomics in the economy. No, they cannot. Let them left that talk. They then talk with African politicians, they talk about 3 months, 6 months. Even politicians at the Europe, the Western world, they talk, then let them left that. We need peace in our countries. We need to see progress. Our people need to have basic necessities: water, electricity, good roads, transportation. That's what we want. We let them forget, but you know, there's no a magic bullet there. Okay, there's nothing like that.
So the last question gets to do with political violence. You know, they allege, well, waiting me see from video we will live stream there, and we catch that one day on camera as well. This paper say Metron Mahawa's death spark call for justice. Mawa, now this woman way the security forces then shoots at the APC office, you know, and we a lost a life day. You know, according to the IG, nobody know die in the APC office, and in officer they no use live bullet at all. What do you make up of this?
Well. My one are possibly close to me because I know people away from Mutora.
Very sorry about that.
So you see, and you cannot wipe out the emotional attachment. Salone a very small country. Nearly everybody who is on the happen to. You must get possibly. We are what you call 6 steps apart from each other. Mm-hmm. You must have somebody who sabi somebody who sabi somebody who know somebody. Mm-hmm. I'm sure say maybe they will do postmortem. If not bullet killer, they will see the bullet in the body. If not to the bullet kill herself, if not the one where the bullet caused by the bullet, all they call a secondary manslaughter, all of those things happen. Why the police for go shoot na party office? Police shoot na party office. There's no disagreement to that. The IG, I presume, would have been hasty in making that statement because he not get reports to the effect saying that so and so person shoot. But again, it comes down to the institutions that we lead. I have some affinity for the police, because I worked at the Sierra Leone police as a consultant. So I understand the stress and strains that they are under. But then again, having worked at a strategic level in the police, I also know say the police gets their own culture where they can stand up to certain things and even stand up to politicians and do what is right in policing the country. They have a mandate, and their mandate comes directly from the Constitution. So some of these things are difficult for make value judgment on them. So I tend to avoid making value judgment. But I would want to comment on issues like this to say, let us strive for a better country. Let us strive for a better discharge of the duties and responsibilities of our institutions. Let us strive for better understanding amongst each other, and let us strive for make the country a place where people will feel assured, say, yeah, their rights are protected, and that nobody will trample on their rights, and that they would not be subjects and victims of violence or as you say, political violence or harassment.
All right. And thank you very much for anything that we were left with. Maybe we will not touch on.
No, I think we touched on everything. I must say commiserations to Samuel Kamara, because in all of this, he probably would be the greatest loser. In all of this, it would be a shame that this is a very good president that Sierra Leone never had. But then I hope so we learn lessons from all of what happened within the APC. Within the country, we've also learned lessons that we just come with convoluted figures, all my acceptance, just like that, because you say, electoral commissioner, corner for no say the disaggregated figures will get for come out, they get for pull on. And if there is any...
we still say the EC and the ONS as well, the threatening, like for example, the
ONS,
National Elections Watch.
I saw the ONS release that other people are threatening that they have these figures. You see, you cannot go after the freedom of speech of other people. If they get the figures, then get the figures.
And this we don't make even the one way in the end, the new door left the country.
Well, again, that was a good move, and I think I hope you see, for clarity and transparency, I hope she will. You see, but the difficulty I have, again, let me allow Rizab comment on that. It is down to Marcela Samba to state a case. It is down to the ESL to state their case, and it's also down to the European Union for make their demands or state their case, because all of these people had a role to play, and their roles were respected and recognized.
I'm not going to ask you more questions again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for taking your time, even with a tight schedule. You join me inside the program for talk to people, and I'm pretty sure people appreciate, the kind of analysis where you give them, and like everybody, interestingly, they say the Colorés today na jollof rice. Yes, interesting.
Today Monday Colorés na jollof rice.
And yes, today na Monday, and I don't even remember.
Monday Colorés na jollof rice.
Jollof rice, so must no longer now they can taste with cow for that matter. Yes, thank you very much. Titus Boy and Thompson for joining inside the program this morning. God bless you and get yourself a good day.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right. And to you also, we don't join me, we don't like, we don't share, we don't comment. Thank you very much. For you who are not subscribers, please consider for subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We get 673 on YouTube where you watch right now with 150 likes. Please now for like the program for we. And on Facebook we get 774 where you watch right now. Thank you very much. And don't forget for like and share the program, okay? Until we meet again, thank you very much. We appreciate you now all. God bless you, country Sierra Leone. The producer for this program now Elias Sabah. Thank you very much, my brother, for a wonderful program we always try to put together for people. My name, Mr. Pierre, the freedom fighter. God bless you, country Sierra Leone, where we call